My name is Lindsay Foster, and I am 35 years old. My pride and joy is my sleek, modern apartment in San Antonio's Pearl District. Every inch of it was paid for and designed by me. It's not just a home, it's proof of everything I've fought for. I never imagined my own family would try to rip it away from me. A few weeks ago, my parents called a family meeting right here in my living room. I thought it was just to catch up. But when they sat down with my younger sister, Chloe, and her two kids, the air shifted. My father cleared his throat and said, "We've decided your sister needs this apartment more than you do." My stomach dropped. Chloe sat there with a smug look, her kids already playing on my floor like they owned the place. What my parents didn't know was that I had already uncovered something about my sister's plans, something they would never see coming. I wasn't about to let my life's work slip through my fingers. Growing up, I was raised mostly by my grandmother in a cozy house with a creaky porch swing. My parents worked long hours in Austin, so my early years were filled with her warm hugs and stories of old Texas. I was 5 when Chloe came along, and everything changed. My parents moved back to San Antonio, and their world began to revolve around her. She got new dolls, shiny dresses, anything she pointed at in a store. I got hand-me-downs and a pat on the head, told to be a good big sister. When I was 12, Grandma passed away, and it hit me hard. She was my rock, the one who truly saw me. My parents barely noticed my grief. They were too busy planning Chloe's birthday party, complete with a rented bounce house. I got a card and a used book that year. The gap between us widened. When Chloe turned 16, my parents bought her a brand new cherry red convertible. I was still riding my bike to part-time jobs, saving every penny for college. "She needs it more," my father said when I asked why. "You're fine." The favoritism was undeniable. Chloe got private tutors, dance lessons, and a trip to Europe. I worked weekends at a local diner, scraping together money for art supplies. I tried talking to them once. "You're strong," my mother sighed. "You don't need as much help." My father added, "Family means sacrifice." I nodded, but inside, I felt invisible. By the time I hit 18, I was done waiting for their approval. I applied to a design school in Dallas, scraping together scholarships and loans. They didn't offer a cent. They were too busy funding Chloe's expensive private school. Every rejection from them fueled me. After graduation, I took on freelance gigs, saved every dollar, and dreamed of a place that was mine alone. 5 years ago, I founded a rundown apartment in the Pearl District. I bought it with my own savings and poured my heart into every detail: custom cabinetry, sleek lighting, floors I sanded myself. It was my masterpiece, now worth over $300,000. My parents never visited. Chloe, meanwhile, breezed through college, more focused on parties than grades. My parents paid for everything. She married a charming business major, Craig, right after graduation, and my parents paid for the lavish wedding. Within 2 years, she had 2 children, Ethan and Mia, and my parents showered them with gifts. Her life unraveled just as quickly. Her boutique, an overpriced athleisure startup, tanked after she mismanaged funds. She and Craig were fighting constantly. He walked out last year, leaving her with the kids in a cramped rental, drowning in what I'd heard was $50,000 of debt. My parents called, asking if I could help out. I offered to connect her with a financial advisor. They wanted cash. I said no. That's when she started showing up at family gatherings with a sob story, using her kids as props to keep the handouts from our parents coming. I couldn't shake the feeling she was playing them. I thought I had built a life they couldn't touch, but that family meeting in my apartment brought it all rushing back. My father sat in my living room, his hands folded. "Your sister and her kids need a stable home," he said. "We think you should give her this apartment." I stared at them, my mind reeling. "This is my home," I said, my voice tight. "I worked for this. Why can't she figure things out like I did?" "Family means helping each other," he said, his eyes narrowing. "She's struggling." "You're not." "You're doing fine," my mother chimed in. "You can find another place." Chloe leaned back, sipping her coffee, acting as if the decision were already made. Just then, her kids, Ethan and Mia, pulled out markers and started drawing on my pristine white walls. I froze, expecting Chloe to stop them. "Kids will be kids," she said with a shrug, not even looking up. I rushed over. but the damage was done. My sanctuary was being treated like a public playground, and my family's silence was deafening. After they left, I stood staring at the red streaks on my walls, feeling hollow. It wasn't just about the apartment. It was about the casual, cruel assumption that my life, my work, my home were less important. But something about Chloe's smugness didn't add up. She wasn't just desperate. She was calculating. Days later, she started showing up unannounced, her kids in tow. Each visit was an invasion. Toys littered my floors, juice stains appeared on my rugs, and once, Mia knocked over a lamp I had spent weeks restoring. Then, I came home to find she'd let herself in with a spare key I'd given my parents for emergencies. I changed the locks the next day, but my home no longer felt like mine. The final clue was a business card I found on my coffee table. Donna Clark, a local real estate agent. I called her, pretending to be a curious buyer. She hesitated, then admitted that my sister had contacted her to get my apartment appraised. My heart sank. She was planning to sell my place, likely to clear her debts. I needed answers. I turned to my Aunt Martha, my mother's sharp, no-nonsense older sister. I met her at a cafe and told her everything. Her face darkened. "That sounds like her," she said. Then she dropped a bomb. "Years ago, when I was 12, my grandmother passed away, leaving a small inheritance of about $20,000. My parents were supposed to split it between us. But Chloe convinced them you didn't need it," Martha explained. "They gave her the whole sum. She blew it on a car and a trip to Vegas." I sat there, stunned. The betrayal was deeper than I ever imagined. I called a colleague, Kevin Ross, who specialized in property law. He confirmed Chloe was $50,000 in debt. He also found no record of her consulting our parents about the appraisal. She had acted alone. "She's desperate," he said. "People like that will do anything." I knew she'd just twist the story if I confronted her. My parents would probably take her side. I felt trapped. But I wasn't helpless. It was time to fight back. I met with Kevin again, this time with a plan: protect my apartment at all costs. He suggested transferring ownership to a family trust. It was an airtight legal move that would lock it out of Chloe's reach. We set up the trust, naming Kevin and another sharp attorney, Virginia Lane, as co-trustees alongside me. My apartment, my life's work, was now untouchable. With that secured, I invited my parents and Chloe to a meeting at a quiet restaurant. I arrived early, clutching Kevin's financial report and the trust documents. They walked in, my parents looking cautious, Chloe with her usual confident smirk. "I know what you've been doing," I said, looking straight at Chloe. "You contacted a real estate agent to appraise my apartment, planning to sell it behind my back." Her face froze. "That's not true," she stammered. I slid Kevin's report across the table. "You're $50,000 in debt. You thought you could take my home to fix your mess." My father's jaw tightened. I turned to him. "She's been manipulating you, just like she did with Grandma's inheritance." I explained what Aunt Martha had told me about the $20,000. My mother's eyes widened. "You're twisting everything." Chloe's voice rose. "I needed help. You've been using your kids and your sob stories to get what you want," I said. "But I'm done letting you walk over me." I pulled out the trust documents. "This apartment is in a trust now. It's protected. You can't touch it." Her face turned red. "You're so selfish. What about my kids?" "Your kids," I said, my voice low, "deserve better than a mother who would steal from family to save herself." I looked at my parents, then my sister. "I'm cutting you out of my life. All of you. You chose her over me again and again. I can't keep hoping you'll change." I stood, leaving the documents on the table, and walked out. The Pearl District's lights blurred as I stepped into the night, my heart pounding, but lighter than it had been in years. The fallout came fast. My parents, rattled by the truth, finally confronted Chloe. She tried her usual tactics: tears, excuses, but this time they didn't budge. They cut her off financially. I heard through Martha that she struggled, taking a job as a retail manager to cover her bills. She sent me a letter, a half-hearted apology mixed with complaints. I didn't respond. My parents tried reaching out, too, leaving voicemails about family unity. I deleted them. Instead, I focused on my life. My design career was thriving. I landed a contract with a boutique hotel in the Pearl District, a project that put my name on the map. My friends, Kevin and Virginia, became my chosen family, their support grounding me in a way my biological family never could. My apartment, now safe in the trust, felt like home again. I repainted the walls, erasing the last of my nephew's marker stains, reclaiming every inch. Cutting them off wasn't easy. It felt like carving out a part of my heart. But it was necessary. I had fought too hard for my peace to let their chaos pull me back. Protecting your boundaries, I learned, sometimes means drawing a line no one can cross, even family. It isn't about selfishness. It's about survival. I had spent a lifetime trying to earn their love, only to realize I didn't need it. My home, my life, was mine, and I would fight for it, no matter who stood in my way.